Thank you very much for coming today. I'm Attorney Gloria Allred. I'll make a statement, and then Karina will make her statement. And we will have copies of our statements for you immediately afterwards. Last night, in the final presidential debate, Mr. Trump was asked to respond to the allegations of 9 women who alleged that they had been the victims of inappropriate sexual contact by Mr. Trump. He responded, quote, "Nobody has more respect for women than I do," end quote. His response is ludicrous in light of the fact that 9 women have come forward with allegations that Mr. Trump engaged in kissing them without their consent, groping them, grabbing their breasts and vagina, forcing his tongue down one woman's throat, attempting to have a sexual relationship with another, and generally behaving in accordance with Mr. Trump's own words, which were captured on tape, bragging about what he wanted to do with women and to women. Today we are here with yet another woman who accuses Donald Trump of disrespecting her by engaging in unwanted and inappropriate sexual behavior. What makes today's accuser noteworthy is that she has shown tremendous courage in coming forward today, especially in light of Mr. Trump's statements last night in which he called the allegations of the 9 women who alleged inappropriate sexual conduct by him, quote, lies and fiction, end quote. Today's victim is also noteworthy in that her allegations demonstrate how Mr. Trump selects his victims at random. Some of the women, including the woman who is here today, had an encounter with Mr. Trump that appeared to be strictly by chance. Mr. Trump allegedly felt that whether on an airplane or seeing a woman waiting for a car, that he had the absolute right to do whatever he wanted to, because after all, he is a celebrity. Mr. Trump, the fact that you are a celebrity does not give you a license to violate women. To the contrary, it gives you more responsibility to respect women, as many women will look up to you as a role model because of your celebrity status. To show respect for women means that you need to respect their boundaries and not to act on your impulses to grab and to grope at your pleasure. Your statements in response to some of your accusers suggesting that they were not attractive enough to merit your unwanted attentions is also indicative of disrespect and the height of arrogance and entitlement. Mr. Trump, you may have thought that you could violate women without consequences, but there are always consequences. There are consequences for the women that you have hurt, and there are consequences for you as well. You have called yourself a victim, but it is not you that is the victim. Given the allegations against you, you should never again utter the words that you respect women. The women that have come forward deserve tremendous respect for having had the courage to speak truth to power. They will continue to speak out and be heard, and we are proud of each and every one of them. And now, I would like to present Karina, Virginia. Let's move over a little.
After Donald Trump was caught on tape bragging about groping women, a number of women came forward to share their experiences. I am here today to add my voice to that of the other Trump accusers. I am here to stand up to Mr. Trump for myself my family, particularly my daughter, and for all the women who deserve to be respected and not subjected to sexual abuse or groped by powerful men who believe that women can be groped, grabbed, or kissed at their pleasure. I am also here to support the other women who had the courage to come forward, only to be labeled as liars by Mr. Trump. No one has asked me to come forward. No one has asked me to come forward. In fact, many people advised me not to speak publicly about what Donald Trump did to me out of concern that I would also be attacked by him. I have been advised that Mr. Trump will probably call me a liar, just as he called all the other women liars who have made accusations against him. Or perhaps he will label me as just another nasty woman. I have lost sleep over this. I have been fearful about bringing unwanted attention to my loving family and me. This includes my husband, my daughter, my son, my entire family. But in the end, I feel that it is my duty as a woman, as a mother, a human being, and as an American citizen, to speak out and tell the truth about what happened to me. In 1998, I was at the US Open tennis tournament in Flushing, Queens, New York. I was waiting for a car to arrive to take me home. As I was waiting, Donald Trump approached me. I knew who he was, but I'd never met him. He was with a few other men. I was quite surprised when I overheard him talking to the other men about me. He said, "Hey, look at this one. We haven't seen her before. Look at those legs." As though I was an object rather than a person. He then walked up to me and reached his right arm and grabbed my right arm. Then his hand touched the right inside of my breast. I was in shock. I flinched. "Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?" That's what he said to me. I felt intimidated and I felt powerless. Then my car pulled up and I got in. After I closed the door, my shock turned to shame. I felt ashamed that I was wearing a short dress and high heels. That feeling of shame stayed with me for a while, and it made me disinclined to wear short dresses or high heels. For a number of years afterwards, I struggled with what to wear so as to not attract unwanted attention. I can remember one evening discussing this with my husband when he asked me why I did not enjoy dress shopping and why I would often wear a shawl at a dinner party or wear a longer dress. I had made my husband aware of what Mr. Trump had done to me. This is what's so interesting. It was difficult for him to understand why I would ever blame myself for being violated. About 5 years ago, I saw Mr. Trump once again. This time we were at a business setting and there were many people around. He looked me up and down a few times. This time, mixed in with the feelings of shame, I felt disgust. I had come to the realization that I was the victim, and he had violated me when he groped me years earlier. I now understand that I was not to blame. Mr. Trump, perhaps you do not remember me or what you did to me so many years ago. But I can assure you that I remember you and what you did to me as though it was yesterday. Your random moment of sexual pleasure came at my expense and affected me greatly. Mr. Trump revealed his true character in his own words on tape, which indicated that he felt entitled to grab women by their private parts. We should, to paraphrase Maya Angelou, believe him. To paraphrase Maya Angelou, believe him. He should be ashamed not only of his words, but of his behavior towards so many women.
Okay. Karina is not going to be answering questions, but I will take some questions.
Are there witnesses from that time?
She has told her husband, as she indicated, he was not there at that time, but she has told him, and she told some other friends around that time.
Gloria, how did this come to your attention, and have you had any conversations with anyone connected with the Clinton campaign?
First part of your question is, how did this come to my attention? The same way that thousands of women and the injustices that they allege have been inflicted upon them have come to my attention in the last 40 years that I've been practicing law as a women's rights attorney. In other words, she contacted me. As to the second part of your question, which was, have I had a contact? Have I had any contact about Karina? The answer is 100% no. In the interest of full disclosure, most people know this, but I'll restate it. I am a Hillary supporter. I was an elected delegate from the 33rd Congressional District to the Democratic National Convention this summer. And 8 years ago as well, I was elected as a delegate to the Democratic National Convention. So I am a proud supporter of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Having said that, I have my own law firm. No one tells me what to do. I don't tell them what to do. And I have had no contact with them about Karina in advance of this. As to the other accuser that I came forward with about a week ago, so Summer Zervos, former candidate on The Apprentice, I also did not tell the Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign that I would be coming forward with Summer Zervos or any other woman in advance of my coming forward.
Are you considering a lawsuit?
She is not considering a lawsuit at this time.
When did she contact you?
Very recently.
Before the debate?
Pardon me?
Before the debate?
The debate was last night, yes. It was prior to the debate, yes.
Can you tell us anything else about Karina, employed or background information?
Do you want me to say?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
okay.
answer that one.
Okay, then you go ahead.
Are you from New York?
I'm from the tri-state area, yes, and I am a yoga instructor, a life coach, an empowerment coach, and an advocate for peace.
Gloria, we're from NBC. I know Karina doesn't want to answer any questions, but how would you characterize your client's support from her family? And also, does Karina think that this might impact her work as a yoga instructor or any other?
Well, she has the support of her family. That was very important to her, and she would not have done it without the support of her family, and I'm very proud of her family that they do support her.
And in terms of, I would like to answer that question, because in terms of my yoga career, I truly believe in the divine. I believe in God. I believe that if you can't see God in all, you can't see God at all. I believe that we're in a time of crisis and there is an awakening taking place. And I believe that we're all needing to find this inner peace within ourselves at this time.
And this is the way you're finding
And-
your inner peace.
And this is how I'm finding my inner peace. And I wouldn't have the integrity to keep teaching and speaking out for women without coming out and supporting the women who were told that they were liars.
Gloria, last night Mr. Trump said that the allegations of all the 9 women that have come out since the Access Hollywood tape have been debunked. What is your reply to that?
I don't agree that they've been debunked.
So is he lying?
Well, he didn't share any evidence that he thought he might have that would support his conclusion that these are lies or that they have been debunked.
Gloria, what year did that happen again with Karina?
I think we said 1998, right? 1998, I think.
What was the reaction of the other men who were with Donald Trump at the time? Were they also engaging? Were they cheering him on? Did they seem to step back? And also, how old were you at the time this happened? And do you know the name of the car service you used?
I have no idea what the name of the car service I used was. Absolutely not. I was 27 at the time.
And when did you get married?
You know what, was it after?
Afterwards.
Oh, it was after, I think
Do
that's
you know how
right.
many, just to, if she told her husband about this incident some years later, we'd like to, was that recently or was it?
My husband's here
Yeah.
and he's,
Yeah, and he's not going to be answering any questions.
Right, but when did you,
Okay, wait, one at a time, I'm sorry.
can you just clarify when you would have told the first person about this incident in real time?
Not long after the incident occurred.
Karina, I thought it was very poignant that you brought up your daughter. Can you tell us what prompted you to finally speak out after all these years, and what did your daughter have to do?
No, we're not going to speak about her daughter, except that I feel assured, having spoken with her daughter, that her daughter is very supportive of her mom, in the same way that her mom has been very supportive of her for her daughter's entire life. She's a very good mom. So I think I'll take one last question and then we'll let you go. Anybody who hasn't had a chance to ask a question? Yes.
Karina, why did you wait so long having seen that Trump was running for presidency and now all of a sudden because of the debate, why did you wait so long?
Yeah, why did she wait so long? I think we've answered that. It was been a difficult decision for her to come forward, knowing that she would be attacked by Mr. Trump and perhaps by some of his supporters. But she was very thoughtful about it and finally decided that it was her duty and to come forward, and that she would find the strength and the courage to come forward, which is what she did. Pardon me?
Was it the Access Hollywood tapes?
It was the Access Hollywood tapes and then his denial that he had ever taken his words and then translated them into actions, actually executed upon the words that he used on the Access Hollywood tapes. So we're going to have to go, but I thank you very much, and there will be copies for you as you go out the door. Thank you very much for coming.